Good morning, students. In this video lecture, we will be continuing with the phylum Ctenophora. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the silent features of phylum Ctenophora, and this phylum Ctenophora, it is divided into two classes, that is Tentaculata and the Nuda. This Tentaculata comprises of the ctenophores which possess the tentacles and the nuda which lack tentacle. And the good example for Tentaculata is Prorobrachia, and you have to study this Prorobrachia in your syllabus in detail. So let's begin with the Prorobrachia. This Prorobrachia, as you can see, they are called as a comb jelly. They are also called as the sea walnut or the sea gooseberry because of its shape. These are the planktonic form inhabiting on the surface of water, and the body is pear-shaped, radially symmetrical, biradially symmetrical, transparent and gelatinous. As you can see in the, or as you have seen in the previous slide, this is a gelatinous transparent organism. Then it is having an upper broader area, it's called as a aboral side, and a narrow oral side, and this oral side is also called as a oral pole. Seen in the center of the oral pole is a mouth, and the center here you can see the mouth, and in the center of the aboral pole, this is the aboral pole, there is a two anal pores. There are the two anal pores and a characteristic aboral sensory receptor. We will see this sensory receptor in detail later. So as we said earlier, the body is biradially symmetrical because the body parts are arranged radially in such a way that one half of them lies on one side and the other on the opposite side on the longitudinal oral aboral axis. On this oral aboral axis, so running between the two poles of the body, there are the 8 equally spaced meridional rows of ciliary bands. This is a one row of ciliary band, this is a second row of ciliary band, and here also you can see on the external side, since it is this diagram is open up, it is not shown here. So on one side you can see 4 rows, and on other side you can see the 4 rows. So here it is a picture showing the 4 rows. This is a first row, this is a second row, this is a third, and this is a fourth, and this is a diagrammatic picture of a Prorobrachia, and this is one side view, and on the other side also you can see 4 meridional rows, and each band consists of a series of paddle-like transverse ciliary plate. This is a ciliary plate, transverse ciliary plates, known as a teens or combs or comb plate or paddle plate or a swimming plate, and each plate in turn is a transverse ridge formed by the fusion of the long cilia, and the cilia is fused at the bottom of this plate and it is free on the other side. This gives the appearance of a comb. So the basal region of it is cilia is fused together, and on the distal side it is free, somewhat like this. Okay, so this is the base region, and base region, it is cilia, it is fused here, and here it is free, on the other side it is free, and the movement of this cilia helps this organism to move, and this structure is similar to that of the comb that we use to comb our hair. And these comb plates are locomotory structures, and a constant beating of the cilia brings about the movement for the animal. Near the oral pore, there are the two pouches on each side. They are the tentacular sheet. So this is a tentacular sheet you can see here on the aboral pore, one bundle, and here also on this side also you can see the one sheet. And emerging from the each bundle you can see a long muscular extensile tentacle. By the muscular activity, these tentacles can be fully extended out of the pouch and retracted into this pouches. So this is a pouch, tentacular pouch, and this tentacle can be retracted into this sheet or into this pouch. The tentacles are equipped with a specialized adhesive epidermal cells called as a colocytes. On these tentacles you can see the specialized cells. If you just cut a portion of this tentacle and view under a microscope, you can see the certain cells called as a lasso cells or colocyte. And this tentacle play an active role in the food capture and ingestion. The body wall of Prorobrachia, it is diploblastic, that is with epidermis, endodermis, and a so-called mesoglia. This epidermis also forms the lining of the mouth. It is followed by this pharynx. Then it is followed by the tentacular sheet. You can see this tentacular sheet, and externally it is coated with a protective layer of mucus. So the epidermis, it is a bilayered epithelium, and here you can see this long tentacles. From this tentacular sheet, long tentacles arises, and there are the lateral branches for these tentacles, and these lateral branches are called as a tentillae. Lateral branches is called as a tentillae. These lateral branches is called as a tentillae. It's also called as a pinnae, and these are provided with unique type of highly specialized epidermal cells called as a lasso cells or colocyte. It's also called as a coloblast, colocytes or coloblast. So if you take a cross section of this tentacle and view under the microscope, there are specialized cells called as a colocytes, and we will see the structure of this colocytes in detail. And when we take a discussion of the histology or the anatomy of this Prorobrachia, they are the diploblastic, that is it is two layered mainly, that is epidermis and endodermis. Its body wall, it is a epidermal in origin, and there is an endodermis layer is also present, and a so-called mesoglia is also present. The mesoderm is not developed much, but the so-called mesoglia cells are present. And epidermis also forms the lining of the mouth. The epidermis or the epithelium of the mouth and the so-called stomerdium is ectodermal, and that of the infundibulum. And you can see there are the certain canals arising. These canals are the endodermal in origin, and both the ectodermal and the endodermal epithelia, they are ciliated, and the space between the external epithelium and the canal system, it is filled with soft jelly like mesoglia, which contains amoeboid cells and the muscle fibers. So if you just take a small portion of this body wall, a small section of this organism, and if you closely examine the outer covering cells, it will be there like this. There will be the epidermal layer, then there is a mesoglial layer, then there is an endodermal layer. So this is the endodermal layer, this is the epidermal layer, then in between there is a so-called mesoglial layer. That is, the space here, the space in between the epidermis and the endodermis will be filled with the fluids filled space, but in between this you can see the certain cells. It is filled with the certain cells, amoeboid cells, and the fibrous muscle fibers also you can see in between. Then this tentacular sheet you can see here, it's an invagination of the ectoderm. So this is the ectodermal layer, and this invaginates, or this is the ectodermal layer, and this invaginates. When it comes here in this position, it actually invaginates. It actually invaginates to form this tentacular sheet, and tentacle itself is covered by the ectoderm. And the ectodermal cells are usually the cuboidal and the columnar in shape, and these cells contains numerous gland cells, and sometimes certain pigments are also there. Branched pigment cells are also present. Then this mouth lying in the center, on the lower end, it is having a slit leading to the deep towards the center, or we can say that the mouth leads inwards into a laterally compressed tube known as a stomoidium or the pharynx. The mouth leads into the pharynx. Its inner wall is highly or greatly folded, and the stomoidium runs up. This tube runs up and reach a narrow tube called as a esophagus. This is the esophagus, and which in turn ends in a large and the flattened stomach. This is the large and the flattened stomach, which was formerly called as a infundibulum. And leading out from the stomach, you can see there are the three main canals, mainly the median aboral canal. This is a median aboral canal, and a pair of transverse canal. A pair of transverse canal. You can see this is a transverse canal. So this is the center, it is a aboral canal, and this is a transverse canal. On both sides there is a transverse canal. Then this aboral canal, or the median aboral canal, divides into the four branches called as anal canals. This small canal, it is a anal canal. It's also called as a excretory canal, and this anal canal are seen around the aboral sense organ, and each canal has a dilation called as a ampulla. We will see this portion in an enlarged slide. Similarly, the transverse canal also branches, and the one branch goes to the tentacular region and tentacular part, and the other branch goes as a meridional canal, which lies close to this comb plate. This is a comb plate, and underlying the comb plate you can see the meridional canal. So this transverse canal divides to form a meridional canal and a tentacular canal. This meridional canal lies close to this comb plate. So that is a gastrovascular system seen in this Prorobrachia. This Prorobrachia, they are the carnivores, substituting all the small pelagic animals, and the food capture and the ingestion, it is managed by these tentacles, and the digestion occurs in this stomoidium. The products of the digestion are distributed all over the body by circulating the fluid of this gastrovascular canals, and the undigested residues is thrown